And what is the motives of CIA? Yes, please go ahead. So you have, for the hand purpose, you have confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The things are here in front of you. Prevent disclosure of data, prevent modification of data, ensure reliable, timely access of the data. So give me some examples, the use cases of CIA. Okay, then due, then SGP. So first of all, start with the CIA. What is all about?
So Manish
Manish,
Bhandare here. Yes,
yes,
sir.
please provide your name first, and then let me know that CIA, what is all about.
Sure. So Manish Bhandare here. So CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, availability. So these things are considered when designing and implementing of a network, system, application, or management processes. So sometimes these are understood and evaluated by the by the management. So it is whenever we use CIA, it is we ask the questions to management. They ask the questions: will this enhance the core security? Will this enhance the principles of our core security? So CIA is introduced to have the core principles, the core security enhanced within the infrastructure to understand the system application or management. So CIA stands for confidentiality. So confidentiality means the authorized person should have the access to it. Like it should be only authorized person be confidential to any sort of data or any sort of infrastructure the information. Are you able to hear my voice, sir? Is my voice audible, sir? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, sir?
So Saptarishi, do we require to need some modifications into this? Who's talking right now?
Manish, yes, sir.
Yes. Saptarishi, are you there or not?
Yes, sir, I'm there, sir. So,
Okay.
sir,
So
I
whatever the
will explain
Manish
about.
suggest as, whatever the Manish suggest as, is it right or we need to give some modifications into this?
So it is right, sir, but I need to add something. Like I will explain what confidentiality is. Sir, actually, confidentiality is a measure to ensure the protection of secrecy of data. Like, sir, any secretive data is there, or any object or any resources, we have to protect the security of that, and we should not give any access to the unauthorized data to any unknown person. Like the access to the unauthorized data should be minimum, and only the audience which is like intended, which is working and which has the access, we should give them the proper access to interact with the data. Hello. Hello, can you hear my voice, sir?
Wait a second. So Tarangam, what you know about it? Do you have any answers on this, Sam, or you agree with this?
I would maybe I would say in a simple way that confidentiality is like um, accessing your email ID or only accessing your email ID instead of accessing someone else. The integrity is whatever the data it is available, only it is not modified. It is sent to you as you are receiving it. Like say from an X person, you are receiving a mail. It is not modified. So making sure that it is not modified and you are receiving it as it is. It is integrity. Availability is something like anytime you want to access your mail, you should be able to access. So that is the simple concept of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So that's my understanding. Maybe if people can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, and guys, do you going to provide some examples from the same? Because you need to provide some what is all about. Yes, use cases. Which thing I need to use where? Give me some examples, okay, and why we're going to use it. So in this case, you have told me that why we're going to use it. Give me some examples and give me some use cases.
Okay, use cases in the sense like maybe the bank accounting. You are only accessing your bank account, not someone else. It makes that it shows the exact balance amount what you have. So that shows the integrity that your account is not compromised or something. You have the correct balance. It is not modified or something. So it is correct. And anytime you want to access your bank and get the money or do the transfer and everything, that is called as an available. So in a banking terms, yes, like it should be available for you, and it is not should not be changed by someone else, and it can only be accessed by you. So that is the confidentiality. So that is the use case. So you are not allowed to access someone else's account, or someone else is not allowed to access yours. So why we need it? Obviously, it's a bank account, so it has to be protected so that nobody else tampers or changes or takes your money out of it.
So we have the second topic is due. A diligence, do detect or due care is do correct. What is all about? Hello.
Hello.
Yes. What is the second topic?
Hello.
Due.
Your voice
Elegance.
is
Due
breaking,
actually, yes, actually, due care is the maintaining the policies and security aspects, and configuring the security configurations means means all the security controls and all policies and guidelines to be monitored or applied for the information or asset security. And due diligence means monitoring those guidelines or baselines are followed properly followed and used by everyone which is handling the data or any accessing the any assets or information of the organization. Hello. Hello.
Hello, voice is coming.
Your
Yes,
voice
yes,
is
yes.
breaking.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
we
Yes,
have
sir.
third topic is SGB, standard guidelines, procedures, and baselines. What is all about?
Actually, standards are the basic means guidelines means it is a procedure defined by the regulations which work on the information security and all other aspects of information security. There are various types of standards, that is PCI DSS or NIST standard or anything related to the particular domain. Means actually there are healthcare domain when we follow the HIPAA standards, means healthcare insurance and portability and accountability acts. Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
hello. Is
Yes.
it audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are not right now. We are talking about the standard guidelines, procedure, and baselines. What is the requirement? All those things. Any examples? Yes, anybody will tell me.
Actually, yes, guidelines and baselines required for the proper functioning of the uh, organization means to achieve the security of the data or assets and confidential means uh, these are the procedures to ensure the CI means confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the data.
Okay, okay, perfect. So this is, my dear friends, this is the SGB is standard guidelines, procedures, and baselines. These are the directive controls. What do you mean by directive controls? It is required direction from the top management.
Yes.
Okay, it's a security governance sort of things. So the IT policies, password policies, database policies, okay, the guidelines are like a advisories. Okay, it's a flexible. You have follow or not follow guidelines of the company. Suppose company will tell that you have to use the 8-digit of number of password. So it's an advisory for all of them. But if you following it, it's okay. If you're not following it, it's okay. But once I configure the 8-digit password compulsory, then you require always 8-digit passwords. Okay, so similar to standards, but not compulsory, more flexible. The transport rules, okay, the transport policy, okay, we can say HR policies, and also you can say that the cap facilities. Okay, the procedures, detailed steps required lowest level. So the matter of fact that how can you create a procedure step by step? How can you configure your database? It is step by step processes. Okay, so baselines, minimum standard, and point to point. Okay, so baselines are very 1 or 2 pages document. So right now we are talking about the SGP standard, baseline, guidelines, procedures. These are some document. These are directive controls. Okay, then we move to the fourth one, cybercrime. So what do you mean by cybercrime? How do you going to find out cybercrime will be happen? Give me some examples.
Actually, cybercrime is the any crime which is related, which is carried out on internet, or it is a breach or accessing data or any information illegally through internet.
Starting your name and then you tell us that so that I can understand who is talking about.
Okay, Mayur here, Mayur.
Okay, Mayur. So Satrishi and Manish and Tangam, what do you say about it? If I'm talking about the cybercrime forensic investigation, what are the processes? Suppose the cybercrime will be happen, okay, and you are going to do some forensic investigation.
Yes.
There is a chain of custody. What do you mean by chain of custody?
Chain of custody means any these are the guidelines who is handling the evidences of the regarding the handling of the evidences of cybercrime. So there are some guidelines. Any tampered or any evidence will be held custodian held with people, and these evidence should be untampered and admissible, accurate, and should be protected in all things to be admissible.
How do you find out the target to doing a cybercrime? Yes,
Hello?
Manish and Saptarish, yes, give me your names and then discuss all things. What is a pre-attack, post-attack sort of things? What is just, what policies, what sort of, before target achieved, after that? So what are the procedures to doing a cybercrime? I would like to know that. Who is going to do cybercrime? Black hat hackers, white hat hackers, grey hat hackers? Which one?
Black
Black hat
hackers.
hackers will do.
Okay. And suppose you are in the red team, or you are in the blue team, or you are a part of grey team. What does it mean?
Okay. Actually,
The grey team has both hackers and the good people. And sir, red team is having like defensive type of security, and the sir blue team is the attacking type of security.
No, just
hello.
review again.
There is a
Yes.
no.
Yes,
There is a correction, Mayur here. Actually, red is the offensive which tries various attacks on them, and the blue team tries to defend them and protect the system.
Hello, guys. Your voice is echoing here.
Hello, voice is coming right now perfectly.
Yours is perfect, Manish.
So I think you don't have clear the things you need to study on the same. So cybercrime, forensic investigation, what is chain of custody, what is target, how to going to achieve the target. Okay, this is the things you need to still study. Okay, so that team, blue team, gray team, what type of different type of testing, who is going to do cyber crimes, offensive security, defensive security. This is all about comes into this. So offensive security is doing by the the red team. Red team is going to do attacking all the time. Give me some examples like that. And examples of red team is going to perform.
Red team will perform brute force or any other attack, password cracking attack, or firewall evasion or something like that. And blue team try to defend and mitigate the attack.
Yes. So red team is going to attack, and blue team is going to defend. Okay, defense the network, and purple team is going to attacking and defensive. Both things are working in the same.
Both.
It's a part of both of things. Okay.
Yes.
So guys, please study the cybercrime is still one of the biggest thing you need to study. Okay. Okay. Then we move to the other further one is law. Is code law, common law, criminal law, civil law, customary law, and regulatory. So what are the three types of law in India? Types of laws in India. Any lawyers is there into this sometime before, or your ID people only?
Yes, actually there are. Means I am aware of two of them. That is a data protection bill, personal data protection bill, and information technology act.
No, I'm not talking about the data protection law right now, because this is separate thing. Okay. So, I'm talking about what are the laws in India. Suppose you are doing a theft. What type of law will be coming? Suppose somebody going to do murder. What type of law?
Criminal law, sir.
Yes. Civil law, criminal law, administrative law. The three types of laws in India. Okay, remember. Criminal is like a jail. Civil law, tort or damages. Customary, religious or mixed. Regulatory laws, administrative or procedural law. So code law, European sort of things. Common law, England. So this is not talking about. So three things we are talking about in this. So you need to understand that is there any cybercrime will be happen. So what type of law will be there? Okay, left it. Just study all those things, no problem with this. So you have a little bit of idea about the what type of different laws in India. So yes, we are talking about the PDPR. We are talking about some Indian Act 2000, sort of, you know what, in Data Protection Act sort of things in India. But right now I'm talking about only simple things. Okay. Then the fourth one is intellectual property. So tell me your name and an example and what is all about intellectual property. Why we require security on the intellectual property? If we're not going to provide the security on the intellectual property, what happened?
Manish here, sir.
So piracy will be there.
Yes, yes, please go ahead. I'm waiting.
Manish here, sir. So intellectual property rights, it includes everything from copyright, if you have the industrial design rights, uh, even if the geographical location indications that we have, these are the some comes under the jurisdictions for the trade. So there are
Okay,
four,
please.
it comes to trademarks, copyrights, whoever has the patent rights comes into the intellectual property.
Yes. So what do you mean by this? Is, you know what? If the intellectual property is, we understand this is patent, copyright, trademark. Okay, and you have seen that 20 years. Give me some examples. Patents. What is patent? What is copyright? What is trademark? Any examples you would like to share to me? If the company licenses, suppose you have procured a Windows and Adobe licenses, it's your intellectual property. If your Windows license or Adobe license are, you know what, privacy are not compromised, then what to do? What happened? Any answers? Anybody? So this particular patent, copyright, trademark, or the trade secrets, these are the intellectual property. If this is a compromise, then you know what? There's a huge loss for the company. So we need to, you know what, procure all sort of patents and copyrights. So what do you mean by copyright? Suppose I'm going to use some of the user's contents. It's a copyright act. I cannot copy the different parties' content.
The copyright is something like you have to get a permission from third person to use it in your company, but you can use it for your personal use, whereas you cannot create a separate system or a separate product and distribute to the others. So that is prohibited under copyright. So patent is
we
something
need to
like
take permission.
Yes, and patent is something which I log it and somebody can buy it from me. I mean, they can get a copyright and they can create something. The trademark is something like symbol or something. For example, Honda symbol, symbol, something. So there are trademark is a little bit tedious. You can use the brand model somewhere, not the brand logo or something.
So, my dear friends, I will tell you. Yes, you're right, sir. You are right, sir. So, what I'm going to tell you is there. We have two type of assets in the company. We have tangible or intangible assets. So, tangible assets are the assets where we can see. Suppose your laptop, your data card, your monitor, your mouse, anything we can see and we can touch. This is your tangible assets. But this is intangible assets. Your licenses, your patents, your copyright, your trademarks, your brand names, you cannot see. So matter of fact that we need to take care tangible assets and intangible assets. So once we're going for the threat modeling, we need to check it out what type of assets in the company. So what type of company, suppose we have intangible assets, intellectual properties there. So what type of security we required, we need to decide in the data classification. We're talking about in the next phase. So data classification is depend on the what type of your property and what is the importance. What type of security we need to implement. Suppose your trade secret, suppose the Google code is going to be compromised, then there is a huge loss for the company. So we need to provide the high security on the Google code. And suppose there is a public accessible data, we don't require any security over there. So we talking about the data classifications as per this use cases. So you guys need to understand here the intellectual property, because it is very mandatory for any person to understand which we going to save our company. Somebody will say we are saving the data, that is why we are going to provide a security. Somebody will going to ask what type of data. Somebody will going to ask what type of intellectual property in the company. So these are some very important terms you need to be understand. Yes, is the copyrights, what is copyright, what is patents, what is trademark, what is trade secrets, all very important prospects. Okay, so just going to study once again all the things. Why we need to implement the security? What, suppose, which type of data, what type of security we have to implement? These things we need to understand. Okay, let's move further into this privacy part. So privacy part is basically, it tells you that what type of industry you have and what type of privacy you will have to implement. So give me some industry name and what type of privacy things you're gonna be implement and why. Yes, please go ahead.
Tangam here. With the PCI DSS, which is talks about the payment gateway related things. So PCI DSS talks about what all the information you can store. For example, in Amazon, all our credit card details are stored. Even the expiry date is stored, but not the CVV, because that is what PCI DSS mandates. So you have to have the CVV should not be stored in the database, so that even somebody hacks it, will not be able to have the entire data of someone. So similarly, there are different organizations talks about different things. Like HIPAA, which talks about healthcare, where what type of information it can be stored in a database, like his SSN number or something like that, but not about his industry. Only the payment and specific can be in the client, not all the time.
Yes, you're right. So guys, what happened into this in the privacy, you don't need to learn each and everything. First thing, the matter of fact that what type of domain you are going to work. Suppose you are going to come into the company, you are going to take a job in a company. The company is belongs to the PCI DSS, okay, like a Paytm, like Amazon, like Flipkart, like Snapdeal, okay, where the gateway is there. There's a payment gateway, your credit card or your debit card, you need to be provide there. So it's a PCI DSS compliance company. Suppose you are a part of the healthcare industry, so the HIPAA compliance will be there. Okay, suppose you are a part of some accounting or investing companies, so there is a SOX will be there.
SOX, yes.
Yes, SOX, right? So you need to understand, guys, what type of industry you are in working and what type of privacy you need to be follow it. Privacy, it means that you need to privacy and security. You need to understand the difference between two things. The privacy is not, going to hide the information. It's not like hiding the informations. You need to comply for the same. Suppose you are working in India and you are accessing the data from the US patients data. So your company should be always be HIPAA compliance. So HIPAA compliance is coming in the 1996. Okay, and you cannot sell the patient information to outside. It's a penalty will be there. The PDPR is implement in the India, because right now it is in Parliament, and 2019 it was created, but it was not passed in the Parliament. So once it is passed in the Parliament, the PDPR, it will be implemented in the India as well. This PDPR is like your the GDPR sort of things, General Data Protection Rules. GDPR is basically, it is used in Europe locations. So what does it mean? Suppose you are the user and you are going to visit to websites and you are not going to create your account. So your information, the European people not going to use anywhere without your permission. So you say that yes, my information is going to be deleted everywhere in database, they were going to delete everywhere. So without your information, they will not going to sell your information to outside. So company, the privacy is very important for any company. So that is why the PII, personal identified information data. So give me some examples of the data of PII. The HR is going to be taking the data of your Aadhaar card, your license information,
PAN card.
Yes, credit card sort of things. Okay. So whatever the informations are very important for you as an individual, it's your privacy. It's hiding your data. Security is basically how to secure your data. What type of technical things you're going to implement on the data. This is security. This is technical security. And how do you want to hide your data? How do you protect your data? It's a privacy. Okay, so different industries, we're going to use different type of privacy acts. So the matter of fact that once you're going for any company, just figure out the company use case. Like companies like going to dealing in the data card or sort of things. The company are going to be some customer like sale sort of things. It's a manufacturing, it's a production sort of things. It's a healthcare industry. What type of industry? And then you're going to prepare that what type of compliance will be there, what type of privacy will be there into the company. Okay, so they will going to ask you the question, same sort of things like that. So my advice, you're just going to study the privacy one more time into the security operations PPT. That's really good for you. Yes, we have some OECD 7 principles of privacy Europe. So in this slide, you have seen that collection of should be limited and lawful. Subjects should be notified of reasons of data collections, disclosure only, W constant, reasonable safeguards in place. Organizations should be accountable. Subjects should be able to find and correct personal information. So the matter of fact that in the Europe location, the GDPR is implemented. We have Australian set, we have India PDPR. So we have different regulations, we have different compliances, we have different privacies over there. So you need to understand that what type of privacy on the company side. So PCI DSS is for credit card industry, because the Paytm or the Amazon or the Flipkart, whatever the company, selling company, they are not going to disclose your information outside. There's a huge penalty on the same. Okay, then we have studied this one. Yes, my dear friends, the risk trumps. So what is a risk trump is going to use it? What is risk is all about? I'm talking about IT risk. What are different risks? Yes, tell me anything about the risk management. What is risk is all about? What is asset? What is threat? What is vulnerability? Safeguards.
Okay, actually, risk is the probability of the any vulnerability that can be exploited,
Okay.
and vulnerability means the any flaws in a network or software or any kind of application which is exploited maliciously.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, and asset can be any belonging to the organization, whether it is software, hardware, or anything.
Okay, that's perfect. But how do you find out the different risk in the IT? Because you're working professional, you have at least 2 or 3 years experience. How do you find out what type of risk will be there into the IT? Suppose there is no power.
Yes.
What type of risk is there?
There will be no availability, means a drop in availability, and
I would like to know that if your network devices goes down, your database got crashed, your server got crashed, your cybercrime, any cybercrime will be happen in your company. Your power got failure. There is no UPS will be there. So what type? This is the type of risk. So you have seen earlier in the security operations we have studied that 2 types of risk will be there. These are human based other sort of things and natural disasters. So the natural disaster will be happen. Okay, like tsunami will be coming, earthquake will be there. Okay, then what to do? And human-made sort of things like terrorist attack will be happen. So as an IT security professional, what type of risk is there? What to do? Because you are the chief technical officer of the company.
there should be proper disaster recovery plan, and there is always need to be things to be backed up. And
So we will have the disaster recovery plan along with the business continuity plan that we continue to have those precautionary steps, those scenarios.
Okay. So this is in the risk analysis. You have seen that in the dread and in the and what type of risk analysis you going to perform it. So I'm talking about here risk management in IT only.
We have
Any
to take
answers?
backups, sir. We have to take different kinds of backup, and we have to make backup servers, sir, which where we have to store the data. So if any disaster happens, then we can use that server and as a backup.
Yes. Anything else you would like to share to me? Any examples you would like to share to me, sir? This is suppose this is the what I will give you some example like that. Suppose you are working in a company where the 200 number of people are working. Okay, and in the company there is electricity problem will be there. At 3 hours there is no electricity in the company. The 3 hours the production of the employees are waste. So how do you find out the risk management things and how do you going to be providing the risk analysis? What's your approach?
That is Tangam here. That is something called as a risk management and the business continuity plan. So, what if something happens at the one place? and the entire customer goes without any data or access to our system. So that's why they store their server or data in a different places. So there will be a backup server. So if something goes in one place, the other one kicks in and then keeps running. So the backup stored one place is always transferred between those two or three servers is always up to date. So one goes down, the other one comes up and helps the customer at the background. So that is something kind of a business continuity plan which comes with a risk analysis. So what kind of a risk can happen and how do we mitigate it? That is one of the
Yeah, it's right. But business continuity plan and disaster recovery plan are the separate topics of security operations. Here we are right now going to do some risk assessment, risk analysis. So assign value to the asset. So I would like to know that suppose the 200 number of people are working in the company, okay, and 3 hours is going to be waste. So first of all, you have to analyze the 3 hours cost of the employees. Suppose the cost is like 50,000. So what is the cost of the month? $5,000, I think waste. 5,000 is a cost for 1 day. So 1,50,000.
1
And
lakh
1 lakh, yes, 1,50,000 will be for the month, okay? And what about the year? I think 18 lakhs will be there nearby.
Yes,
18 lakhs.
18 lakhs.
18 lakhs.
Okay. So 18 lakhs is the costing you are going to be, you know what, this is the very production lost for the 1 year. So the matter of fact that guys, you have to compare which things I'm going to use it. So for the backup plan, you said that yes, we have to go for the some UPS or online UPS things.
Generator, yes.
Okay. So what is the costing of the generator? Somebody will say that we have 80,000 nearby. Okay. So 80,000 cost, it will be there, and we are, you know what, wasting the 18 lakhs for the year. Which is the best one?
So we should go for cloud backup, sir. Cloud storage.
No storage, my dear. We are talking about the power shortage, power outage.
It's a 80,000, whatever the least cost for the company.
Yes, sir. Yes, sure.
Which we could afford.
So yes, 80,000 will be the costing of your, you know what, online UPS for the month. I'm talking about the month, okay? You know what thing? No, it's the costing of your inverter. But electricity charges will be there, okay? Suppose 3 hours will be lost. So how much number of hours it will be going to online UPS can be handled? So how much it will be the cost? So suppose you can say that approximately 40,000 nearby or approximately. So 40,000, you know what, you are going to pay for per month.
Yeah.
So it's a very huge costing. Per month is, you know what, 4,80,000 nearby. So 4,80,000, 4,80,000 plus 80,000 nearby your 5,20,000 nearby. Approximately, this is the choice you are going to do it. So that is why I'm talking about here. The less number of cost will be there. Okay. So the matter of fact that here, first of all, you need to analyze it's a qualitative risk or it's a quantitative risk. Any guesses what type of risk it is? It's a qualitative or it's a quantitative? Quantitative.
Quantitative, sir. Quantitative risk.
Why it is a quantitative?
So it depends on the cost, how much cost it is taking, cost effectiveness, the quantity.
Yes, The matter of fact that guys, we are calculating the values in money. Okay, we have exact figure is there, right? So it's a quantitative sort of things. Okay, so you understand, yes, a quantitative risk is there. Okay, so assign the value to assets, estimate potential loss for per threat, perform a threat analysis, drive the overall annual loss of potential per threat, reduce, transfer, avoid, and acceptances. So we have another terms I'm going to use it. We have assigned the value to the assets, 18 lakhs versus the 5 lakh 20,000. Estimate potential loss for threat, how much number of threats. So you need to, every 3 years or the maintenance cost will be there nearby 10,000. So you need to also add it into this. So we have to perform the threat analysis. Suppose the threat will be there, how going to perform? We have required online UPS sort of things. Yes. Then drive the overall annual loss potential per threat. So we have seen that 18 lakhs and the nearby 6 lakhs is there. Is good. And then we need to check it out. One more thing is reduce. Can we reduce the risk? Yes, we have reduced the risk. We have, procurement of the online UPS. It will charge us 6 lakhs per year. It is a less costing. Then the second option, can we transfer this risk to third party? Is it possible? Yes, guys. The same example will be there, like online UPS sort of things. Can we transfer the risk to some different vendors or not?
Yes, we can transfer.
We can, depends on the cost the vendor is charging us.
Yes, you're sure. So first of all, we need to check it out. What is the costing, my dear? Okay. Suppose you have to take a rent on the online UPS. So you can just deal with the vendor, like 5 lakhs we gonna provide you the 1 year. Whatever the costing, whatever everything, what is repairing, costing, maintenance, charges, support, everything he will gonna provide it. So before you gonna providing, 5 lakh 80,000 nearby, and right now is 5 lakhs will be there. Which is the best one? You have saving the costing. You have transferred the risk to some different people. The third type is basically avoid. How can we avoid the risk? Anybody will tell me an answer? What do you mean by avoid? We are talking about right now this one. We have reduced the risk. First thing, we have transferred the risk, and right now we are avoiding the risk. What do you mean by avoiding the risk? If we are not going to procure any online UPS, it is avoiding. We know that there is a risk is there, but we are avoiding. We are not taking any actions. Then accept the risk. Accept the risk. It means that what does it mean?
It means
Like there will be some delay and we have to wait for it till it to complete. Maybe something like 3 hours outage every day is possible.
Yes, we have accepted the risk. Yes, if the 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever happened, yes, we are accepting the risk. So whatever that one term is going to use it right now, residual risk. What do you mean by residual risk?
Actually, it is a minimum risk which can be accepted.
Yes, dear, yes. So, my dear, what happened into this? We have procuring the online UPS for the 3 hours. But what happened if the electricity will not available the 4 hours? Sometimes. So 1 hour is extra will be there. So the charging will be some different charging, like 5,000 charging, 60,000 for the year. Before we costing 40,000 and we are now costing is 60,000 because 1 hour the electricity will be 4 hours delay is going. So we have taken the risk, reduce the risk, but we also accept the risk same time. It is coming to the minimal risk, like residual risk. Yes, if it is 4 hours, yes, we can accept the risk for 1 hour. It is going sometimes happen. So what we have procurement for 3 years, whatever apart from the 3 years, we are going to accept the risk. 3.5 hours, 4 hours sometimes, yes, we can accept the risk. But mostly 3 hours will be there. So there is a formula is there, ALE, annual loss acceptancy. So once you're going for the risk management things, you need to go for always annual. Calculate always the annual things. Okay, so the total risk there, residual risk is there, and Delphi risk is there. So they have different things will be there. Comes to the picture. So we understand, yes, quantitative risk we understand, a time consuming list of lots of data. What about the qualitative risk? Any ideas you would like to share to me? The qualitative risk is your, suppose the earthquake is coming, the natural disaster will be coming, tsunami will be coming. So you cannot sure that what type of, how much number of loss you will have to accept. Suppose the COVID-19 situation is there, it's a natural disaster sort of things. So how much number of loss? You cannot provide an exact figure. Okay, so in these situations, what are you going to do it? So it is subjective, difficult to track, and number of dollars for the cost benefits. So we cannot know that, yes, what sort of things will be happen. In this, suppose the tsunami will be coming, then what we going to do it? Earthquake will be coming, then what happened? We don't know. So we need to ready for it all the time. So guys, my request to you to please try to study the risk management is very important for your career, because if you're going to analyze the risk more effectively, you have more chances to become a manager in the company, for CTO, Chief Technical Officer, or CISO, Chief Information Officer of the company, because these guys are doing this stuff, risk management. Okay, then we have another topic right now, DREAD. So DREAD, its full form is damage, reproducibility, explorability, affected users, discoverability. So what do you mean about all those sort of things? How can we save from all those things? Any tools, any technique, which thing we gonna use it for the DREAD? Yes, Manish and Saptarishi, any answers you would like to share to me, sir? This is the things we can gonna do it. And what is the tools we required into this?
It is sort of a vulnerability assessment. Like, what are the different threats? How are the impacts of that threat?
Yes, I would like to know more into this. How going to discover the threats? How do you going to discover? You are working in the security operations center.
Yes.
Suppose you are working on the network operation center.
Yes. We will always keep monitoring the logs and all the events or incidents which are happen in organization. and continuous means actually monthly or security audits and screening going to carried out. In this way, we can discuss the threats or any vulnerabilities in the which will be exploited.
Yes, but I would like to know some technical answers from your side, guys.
So
I'm
we have to
expecting.
update the antivirus signatures, sir, all the time, and we have to
Yes.
update the patches of the OS.
Okay. Any other things you would like to share to me?
And zero
Firewalls.
day
All the defensive techniques you gonna use it. What are the defensive techniques? You're working in a blue team, and you have to defend the networks, defend the applications, defend the cloud. What are the different tools and techniques you're gonna use it? Give me 5 of them.
Actually, there are IDS, intrusion detection system, IPS, firewalls, honeypots, or sandboxing environment.
Sonic ball.
Yes. Any other things? Oh, you have only one thing you have told. Tell me a firewall. IDS, IPS. Yes, I accept it. 2 things. What about other things?
Honeypots.
Honeypots. Okay. Any other thing?
The antiviruses means it includes firewall includes and
Yes, you're right. Yes. So just try to, guys, my request you to go for the technical terms. Yes, these all things are correct here, but go for some more technical terms like endpoint security solution.
okay.
Okay, antivirus management system is like an endpoint security solution, my dear. Say that. Firewalls, IDS, IPS, correct one. You have to use it. SIM solution, security incident and event management.
And DLP data loss
Yes,
prevention.
DLP is one of them. You're right. Data leakage prevention. Any other thing? Email management solution. Bring your own device management solution. You have to use it. The biometric systems, CCTV sort of things. So you have different
Physical security.
Yes, so you have different things available, my dear friends. So in this talking about the damage, repairability, exploitability, affected users, discoverability. So simply you can say that, sir, we are going to use SIM solution, security incident event management, and give me some example like Splunk we're gonna use it, QRadar we can gonna use it, Cisco Alien Vault we're gonna use it. So there are different tools is there in the market. So what is what SIM solution gonna working? So it's going to collect the data from your different devices, process your data, and providing to the collector, and then it is presenting to the analytics person, IT security analyst person. So there are different protocols going to be working over there. So you are working as a security solution engineer. What type of solution going to providing it? So suppose somebody will tell you that, sir, we required SSO, single sign-on. We required some multi-factor authentication. So what do you mean by multi-factor authentication? Any answers you would like to share to me, sir? This is the multi-factor authentication.
Actually, multi-factor authentication means some companies are providing username and password, and along with they take it from Google Authenticator or anything. Means like OTP. OTP which is sent to the email or registered phone number.
Yes, but the matter of fact that we required, I'm expecting you to guys provide some technical things like multi-factor authentication is one or two or more authentication things.
Yes.
Okay, so somewhere you are, somewhere something you know.
Something you have.
Something you know. It means, what does it mean? Something you know. What does it mean? You know the password.
Username and password.
Yes. Something you have. What you have?
OTP or any OTP or any card. If you are doing any transaction. So something you have means.
Yes, you're right. So example, you can going to implement Office 365 environment, multi-factor authentication. So what are different application name? Microsoft Authenticator app, Cisco app is available.
Yes, Google Authenticator.
Google Authenticator app is available. Yes, so this is all about comes under it. So what I'm trying to tell you, you are a solution architect engineer in the company. You are the part of the blue team member, and dread, damage, repairability, exploitability, affected users, and discoverability will be happen from the that team. So what we're going to do it? You have to provide some defensive techniques. So first of all, you're working in the security operations center, so-called network operations center. Cyber attack will be happen. So first of all, it is going to be detect into your SIM solution. So Jabbix, you're gonna use it. You're gonna use it. There's different sort of SIM solutions. Once it is going to detect, service is just gonna ticketed log and then send to your bin. Then you are a security analyst. You have to analyze what it's all about. Okay, let's move to the different topics, the frameworks. So it is also very important topic is their COBIT, IT focus. Common objective of business and information technology. ITIL, Information Technology Library, IT focus. COSO, business focus. ISO IEC is basically information security management system. So what is all about? Give me two of them. Any answers? What is ITIL? What is ISMS? Information Security Management System.
Actually, ITIL is a service management which describes the process for change management, configuration management, and all the infrastructure of
Yes,
any
you're right.
organization.
Yes. Any other answers?
And it also includes the IS, information security.
Okay, that's nice. Anything else? So ITL basically is a best practices. What is the best practice in your company? So I would like to know that, suppose you're doing IT person, okay, in your company, is an IT professional you are. What is the best practices of your IT? Give me an answer. How the things gonna working in your company as an IT professional? If there any problem will be coming to the user, suppose somebody will say that my Outlook is not working. Somebody will say my system is very slow. Somebody say network issues will be there. So what is the best practice you are following it? Give me answer. Anything, whatever you are going to do it in your company.
So Manish here. So anything like a service which is not working, so we will like something standardize what exactly they issue, and we create the services around it. Any service which is able to work, so we'll select the selection, we'll have the planning around it, and then deliver what exactly needs to be uh, done or corrected as a service, as a maintenance for the services that has been provided within the organization to have the continuity of business.
Okay. Okay. What do you mean by ISO? Anything? Anyone going to be answered? What is ISO?
Mayuri here, sir. Hello.
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
ISO is a standard for means it is a framework. It is a standardization organization. In information organization, which describes the various standards for the various policies. Means ISO 27000, ISO 27000, ISMS, and all.
How many number of controls into the ISMS? Number of controls. What is annexures? So just try to study, my dear friends. You have required some more knowledge into this ISO. ISO basically is ISO 27001 specifications. So what does it mean? Because in every company required information should be secure. Yes. So how can it will be secure your information? Who is going to say that yes, my information is secured? Once you get the ISO certification from the PCB or different certificate authority. So first of all, you need to do the internal auditing of your company. Once you have done the internal auditing, then you need to go for the external auditing. In the external auditing, the company is going to check it out, information security management system. So the company, the ISO person going to be asked that suppose you are going to run a firewall. So what are different policies you have implemented? Do you have the password policies? Do you have the network policies? Do you have the database policies? So they are going to check it out, all the documentation part of your company's policies, standards, guidelines. You're following it. They will not going to go for the technical things. It means that they will not going to see in your firewall what things have you configured or not configured. It's a part of the VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So once you're going for the technical things, it is called the VAPT. But once you're going for the documentation part, it's called the ISMS, Information Security Management System. So we have different approaches. We have NIST approach. We are going to do ISO implementations. We are going to do some COSO. We have to go with some ITIL. We have to go for some COVID. So ITIL framework is basically what is the best practice in your company. So suppose any incident will be coming. What is incident? The incident is basically which is going to unproductive of your users, is going to block the users to work, production lost same time. So first of all, user is going to complain, the service desk team is going to log in the ticket, and then service desk is going to provide the priority, high priority, low priority, urgency, high, low, medium, and then they will going to send the ticket to the concerned team, and the concerned team is going to take a look. So it's an incident management. Then we have change management, problem management, configuration management, release management. Different teams gonna working simultaneously. COVID is basically IT focus. What is your security architecture? What is your network architecture, designing, layout? What is your server architecture, system architecture? What is your database architecture designing? It comes under COBIT. So risk management and this particular frameworks, please study in more in depth. We have talking about some controls. So we have almost 10 type of controls. So these are the 6 type of controls into this. What is all about? Let me know. Why we required the controls, security controls in the company? Yes, I'm waiting for it. Your answers. Why the company required security controls?
Actually, to minimize the risk of the data theft or any data breaches to the system.
Okay. So tell me one by one, what is administrative control, technical, logical controls, physical controls, preventive controls, detective controls, and executive controls? What are the examples and use cases in the company? Let me know step by step. Your names and then tell me what is all about and how going to be use cases with examples. Yes, Manish and Sadhurishi, I'm waiting for your answers, please. Go ahead.
Hello, Mayur here. Administrative controls are all the procedures, rules, policies, and all the guidelines that need to be followed in any individual from the company.
Okay, perfect. What about others controls?
Logical control means any control which are carried out by software or automated processes.
Restricted access, what does it mean?
Like providing any authentication, sir. Credentials, giving some credentials, providing access list over the network.
Okay, give me example like that.
For example, if I want to put an access list, access control list means I can separate it in a different VLAN so that the IPs which are having that particular VLAN will have access to that, and others will not.
Yes, you're right. Yes, perfect.
In case of normal work group and domain network, we can have give particular administrative credentials with the help of our server. Through that,
Yes,
we can.
So we can provide privilege level accesses. Okay, who is going to privilege to access this particular folders? And we can restrict the users to access the so permissions, rights. You need to understand over there. Okay, so identity and access management, IAM, and privilege and access management. Those sort of things come to the picture. What do you mean by physical controls?
Physical control means fencing or locked doors which are only accessed with some security cards or barricades.
So I'm talking about here IT for the IT purpose. If the physical logs are not there in your server room, what happened?
Then anyone can access the server, and which is very risky.
Okay. So guys, the matter of fact that risk is there, yeah, risk is there, na? That's why you're talking about right. What is preventive controls? What is retroactive controls? And what is corrective controls? Tell me step by step. And preventive controls. Yes, any answers? Preventive. How are you going to prevent?
Actually, preventive controls means prevention. Basically, it's a process of prevention before anything attack can happen. As preventive controls can IDS, IP, or antivirus, which prevents the virus or attacks to the systems.
Any examples?
Examples is intrusion prevention system analyzes the traffic, detects malicious activity, and if it is detected, then drop it back, drop the whole.
Okay. Okay. Seems to be okay. What is it? Detective controls?
Actually, detection is a further part. Means any attack happen, and after that, detecting what was actual happened that situation. Is like forensic.
Okay. Okay. Right. So, detective controls how to detect. Suppose any cybercrime will be happen, and then you're going to detect. So, the same solution gonna use it for detective.
Yes. We can detect from logs and all the processes or services which are.
Yes. Yes. Then corrective controls restore after harmful occurrences. How do you going to do corrective controls?
Actually, corrective controls means it is a as a principle of what we have learned from the attacks and what causes the attack. So we analyze the cause of attack and remediate it.
Okay. Perfect. So just going to study little. You have knowledge about it, but go for little more study. So you're just going to provide the examples straight away. Then we're talking about some evidences. So suppose you have done some forensic investigations and doing some best primary, original, not oral, real, tangible materials. Secondary, copies of documents, oral, sanitary, computer logs. Direct, conclusive. Circumstantial, collaborative, opinion, and harassment. So these are some, what documents you required. The forensic investigations, once you're going to do it, you required these type of evidences. Okay, so in this domain, my dear, this is the first domain we have studied. In this domains, you need to go for some risk management, little bit of, okay, and then you need to go for some privacy, understanding, Okay, and you need to go for some this COVID, this frameworks in depth. The three things you have studied, then it's okay for you. You study, go for it. And I will going to provide you some assignments on the same. Okay, so we have some second domain is there right now. So we have studied previous slide that we have some type of controls. Okay, so control, it means that we have some physical things. So directive controls, procedures. What do you mean by it is? What type of procedures you're talking about here? So we have some physical controls, we have administrative sort of things, okay, and we have some technical controls. So in the technical controls, we have all the things which you are talking about here in the previous slide. So we have some directive controls like standard and baselines. So I will going to provide me some standards. How going to write our standards? What is baselines? What is guidelines? So we have some deterrent controls. So encryption. Give me some examples of the encryption. Types of encryption.
So Mayuri, hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, basically there are two types of encryption. One symmetrical and asymmetrical. Symmetrical includes the same for encryption and decryption, and asymmetrical, which use this two different keys for encryption and decryption. It has privacy and utility concepts. Examples of symmetric encryptions are DES, triple DES, ES, and oil-based are some examples of symmetric. Or asymmetric is the cryptography and all the other encryption standards.
Yes. So in the encryptions, when we're talking about, okay, the VPN concepts, okay. So symmetric, asymmetric, you know, phase 1 and phase 2, different type of algorithms. What is aggressive mode, main mode? What is Diffie-Hellman mode? What are different types of errors into the VPN? What is side-to-side VPN? What is remote side VPN? What is the correct, what VPN things working right now? DES, 3DES, AES, AES 256. Which one is current encryption technology? Gonna use it.
Actually, we use 3DES.
It's a latest one or it's a old one?
Actually, it is not latest. It is an old one.
So which is the latest one? Anybody will going to answer me? Which is the latest encryption technology we're gonna use it right now? AES 256.
256.
Okay, just like note it down. So violation report and warning banner. So deterrent controls basically, suppose you are going to log into the router or switches, and there's a banner it is coming. Okay, warning banner is coming in front of you. It says it's a production servers. Please do not log in if you're not a part of it. Violation report. Suppose you are going to violation. You're not authorized in the switches. It's a L2 switches. And if you are the, going to any company and plug your laptop to the LAN cable, at the same time, the security violation will be happen because you are not a part of company and you're going to do security violations. The report will be coming to a network administrator. Okay, then we have some preventive controls. So how are we going to be prevent MFA, multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication, three-factor authentications? Yes, we know the three-factor authentications. How can we going to be create 3FA? Any answers? How are we going to be configured 3FA? Three-factor authentication. So three-factor authentication, we're going to create in the Office 365. We're going to create on the Gmail account as well. So first authentication is your password, user ID and password. So it is going to be hacked by any person, like brute force attacks. Okay, and somebody is going to hack your ID and password. Rainbow tables, it is going to hack your password. The second thing is OTP. So the OTP will be code will be coming to your mobile, and it will be valid for the next only 1 minute. Second authentication. The third authentication is your security questions. So you're going to be configured password based authentications, OTP based authentication, and security questions based authentication. Access control list, IPS and IDS, intrusion prevention system. Because it's a preventive, that is why it's the IPS will be coming. IDS will not is going to be coming into the detective. Firewalls, account lockouts, and encryption. We have some detective controls, logging, SNMP, IDS. So hits and nits. What is the difference between hits and nits we are talking about earlier? What is the full form and what is the use case of hits and nits?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Mayur here. HIDS is a host-based IDS, which is detection, and NIDS is a base intrusion detection system. Means HID is installed on particular host, and network in NIDS is installed on throughout the network.
Where are we going to use which one? Where? So, my dear friends, HIDS is host-based intrusion detection system. So, it is your system firewall, my dear friends. Windows firewalls. Okay, your antivirus management system, antivirus in your laptop. It is going to detect any viruses, spams, worms, and NIDS is network intrusion detection system. So network, it means what network? It is your firewall. So IDS, IPS are working into the firewalls and the gateway level security. So logging, example of SIM solution, security incident event management. Suppose your company don't have the SIM solution, then SNMP. SNMP is a protocol, simple network management protocol. It is providing the logs of your devices. So it's a detective controls. And if it is not available in the company, detective control, then what happened? What to do? Yes, any answers? So the matter of fact that, my dear friends, if we don't have the logs availability, then if we're not going to monitor the logs, then how can we detect what type of crime will be happen, what type of security breach will be happen? That is why we required the detective things, and moreover, we required preventive things. We have some corrective controls: isolate and terminate connections, update access, privileges, patching and updating. So what is the correct method of termination of the employee? Any answers? Do we need to remove his or her access before the time? Once in the company, or he left the company, same time we have to remove it?
No, when he while terminating, you should first remove his access to the systems.
What? Tell me again. So, my dear friends, suppose you are IT professionals and the HR is going to terminate any person. So first of all, you need to check it out what type of accesses we need to remove it, and when it is going to remove it. So go forth as per the IT policies, as per the instruction of your management. However, if the user is going to do any type of activities, so you can just take a permissions from your top management, and then you can want to remove it, the accesses, disable the accesses same time. So different companies, different procedures will be happen. So you need to go as per the IT policies, the company policies as required. Then we have talking about some recovery. So recovery, it is their disaster recovery sort of things. So that 5 we have studied: backups, recovery systems, functions, rebuild. So what type of backup, what type of R5 dead 5 is there, what is striping, what is mirroring, and tell me any 3 or 4 recovery technologies apart from this. Yes, I'm waiting for the answer, guys. Please, if you know that, it's okay. Don't know, it's okay.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Actually, striping is writing a data over various hard disks simultaneously. So there will be different data on each of the hard disk, and mirroring is simply just copying whole data to the two hard disks or any number of hard disks.
Okay.
there are various types of RAID like RAID 1, RAID 5, and RAID 10. RAID 0 basically includes striping, and it is less fault tolerant. And RAID 1 includes the filtering, which includes two set of hard disk, and data is completely copied and same data is stored on hard disk.
Okay.
And in RAID 5, it requires minimum at least this, and it also uses the parity. So there is a greater fault tolerance, and it is a fast process. And there is also RAID combination of RAID 0 and it is applicable for even this.
Okay. Okay. So the matter of fact that guys, what type of backup? Differential backup, copy backup, full backup. Any ideas? RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, RAID 10. Mirroring is, you know what, same type of, you know what, image will be copying to the some different image. Striping and parity will be there. So once we have more than 3 hard disks will be there, what type of that technology it is when we are going to use it? It is a RAID 1, RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 3 or RAID 5?
RAID 5.
Which one?
RAID 5.
Okay. And somebody will going to do full backup and somebody will going to do differential backup. What is the difference between the differential backup and the full backup?
Actually, Mayur here, full backup means
Okay, so guys, I'm just going to wrap up the class for today. So try to, you know what, study all those things which you are not going to be answering me. So these are the different type of controls. Go for the asset security again and study a little more about it. So compensating controls, we have some physical controls like preventive, deterrent, reactive controls, corrective controls, the different, you know what, use cases. Okay, we have some different type of threats. We have access controls. We have logging and accountability, and we have some admin management. So as the physical controls, how gonna working, administrative management, how gonna working, and technical controls. These are the 3 types: technical, physical, and administrative management. So try to study all those things. It's very important. And then we have some, you know what, threats and access controls. So I'm talking about some different models. Mandatory access controls, data owner decide the, you know what, dictionary access controls, rollback access controls, ABAC, loopback, okay, lattice, okay, TACAS plus, radius. So try to study all those things. Identify threat, phishing, okay, spoofing, networks. How do you going to perform this spoofing? Network spoofing. What is MAC spoofing? What is DHCP snooping? Okay, then we have some phishing. We have some DOS and DDoS attacks, logic bombs, botnet, wire dialing, shorter surfing, brute force attacks, APT, advanced pattern tester. So try to study all those things. Then once you have studied, then we will go for some more than to technical things I will going to ask. So logging accountability is some solution there. So everything will be covered. Nothing in the security, nothing is left. In the security, whatever the things you have studied, everything will be included. It's a part of it. This is only 2 domains here. We have more than 8 domains here. We need to study. So study it and then let me know. The next class I will going to provide you the help for same. So any questions you would like to ask to me? Hello guys.
Yes, sir.
Any questions you would like to ask to me regarding that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So guys, I have just checked it out. You have some, gaps into this. So study some compliances, study risk management, study some security controls. These are very important terms. Once
Yes.
you're going for the penetration testing, VAPT, you not going to perform the things because you don't have the basic fundamentals clear. So it's better that you have to understand each and everything into the depth, because once you're going for the interview, they will going to ask you any questions. And I would like to go for more technical things. Try to demonstrate me with examples, with scenario-based questions. Give me some scenarios, give me some examples, and what are the use cases. So I would like to know that specific things like everything, so that the person is going to understand you have worked it on the technology and you have some scenarios knowledge, you have some examples available, so that he will going to judge you very well.
So in PPT, if we study, it is enough, right?
Yes, I already shared you some PPTs. The
8
number of things will
PPTs.
be there. Yes, 8 PPTs will be there. Okay, this is, I'm already shared you the link.
Yes, sir, we have.
Your link is available. Go to this particular first one. Okay, don't go for each of them. You will get confused. You have to go for it. First one, information security and risk management and asset management. 2 PPTs. Then once you study this one, then we 3 and 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8. So it will going to cover each and everything. Okay guys, thank you for your time and let me know if you are facing any issues. We will going to continue. Same thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.